My name is Zara Khan. I'm 31 years old, and the worst thing my father ever gave me was honesty in public. At my birthday dinner, in a room full of people who actually knew me, he stood up and said something no daughter expects to hear from her own parent. The room went silent instantly. I remember putting my glass down, my hands looking calm even though everything inside me was shaking. In that moment, I understood something clearly. Some moments don't destroy your life, they just make it impossible to keep lying to yourself about the life you're already living. I didn't argue, didn't cry, didn't explain. I just walked out. 9 months before that night, my life looked perfectly fine from the outside. I lived alone, had a stable job as an operations coordinator, paid my bills, and kept everything in order. At work, I solved problems, managed schedules, and handled issues others ignored. I was good at it. But the same thing followed me home. In my family, being responsible wasn't appreciated, it was expected. My father believed everything should run smoothly around him. My mother softened his words and made everything sound gentle. My younger brother moved through life carelessly, knowing I would fix things. And I always did. It didn't happen all at once. It started with small favors, calls, reminders, errands. Each one felt normal, easy, and harmless. But over time, it became my role. I handled their problems because it was quicker than explaining things to them. I told myself it was just helping, just being a good daughter. But slowly, I stopped noticing how much of my life I was giving away. My friend Hina noticed it before I did. She told me I wasn't just dependable, I was being used. I didn't want to believe her, but deep down, I knew she was right. One day at work, everything changed. I was in an important meeting that could have led to a promotion. My phone kept ringing, my parents, my brother. I stepped out, thinking it was an emergency. It wasn't. It was just paperwork confusion. I spent 15 minutes fixing it. When I returned, I had missed the most important part of the meeting. A week later, I found out someone else got the opportunity. That was the moment I realized my life wasn't fully mine. I had been putting others first for so long that I lost something important. My own future. That night, I made a decision. I updated my resume, started applying for jobs, and slowly began creating a life that didn't revolve around fixing everyone else's problems. A few months later, I got a better job in another city. I didn't tell my family right away. I wanted to be sure of my decision without their influence. Around the same time, I planned my birthday dinner, a simple evening with people I cared about. I invited my family, but this time, it wasn't about them. At the dinner, everything felt different. My friends laughed, talked, and treated me like a person, not a problem solver. My family, however, seemed uncomfortable. They weren't the center of attention anymore. And then, just when the night was going well, my father stood up and spoke. He said the room deserved honesty. Then he looked at me and said they had never truly loved me the way parents should love a daughter. The words hit hard, but strangely, they didn't break me. Instead, they freed me. I stood up calmly, said thank you, and walked out. That was the moment everything became clear. The next morning, my phone was full of calls and messages, but none of them changed what I now understood. I wasn't loved for who I was valued for what I did. And I was done living like that. In the following days, I stopped responding to their requests. No reminders, no calls, no problem solving. And something surprising happened, their lives didn't fall apart. They struggled a little, made mistakes, but they managed. It showed me something important, they didn't need me the way I thought they did. They were just used to having me there. A few weeks later, I moved to my new city. My apartment was small but peaceful. For the first time in years, I woke up without feeling responsible for anyone else's problems. I finally felt free. Not perfect, not healed, but free. If you're reading this, ask yourself something honestly. Are you being loved, or just being used? Are you valued for who you are, or only for what you do? And how long are you willing to stay in a place where your worth depends on how much you carry for others? The lesson here is simple but powerful: being needed is not the same as being loved. Helping others is good, but losing yourself in the process is not. Real relationships respect your time, your boundaries, and your identity. Don't ignore the signs. Don't keep making excuses. Learn to say no. Learn to choose yourself. This story is purely fictional and not based on real events, but it carries a real message. Sometimes, the hardest truth can also be the beginning of your freedom.